Tracking snow, I've got the latest update on our winter storm watch for the area. That plus how much snow is expected to fall across the area.
And a striking claim from North Idaho's largest hospital. They're now at 99% capacity and may have to send COVID patients to other hospitals.
But all Broadway tours have been pulled through June of 2021.
The long-awaited Hamilton and other Broadway classics postponed for the time being. We see how the economy is looking to bounce back after being hit by millions this year.
Joining us for KREM 2 News at 11, I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Hello everyone, I'm Regina On. Let's get right to the top story of the night, and we have been talking about it really all week, anticipating this Friday weather.
Oh my goodness, fall is basically over, right? Thomas
is.
Patrick joining us now from the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, we knew it was supposed to snow on Friday, just not as much as it's going to snow now, right?
Yeah, so as we gotten closer to the event, now just 2 days away, we've got a pretty good idea of now how much snow might be in the works. And it kind of goes back to just our confidence. Remember a couple days ago, I was like, too early to tell how much snow. Well, now that we're 2 days out, I have a pretty good idea of how much is going to snow. And 3 to 6 inches is a range that's going to be for most areas of the inland Northwest, including our northern areas and most of North Idaho as well. Winter storm watch got issued today out in anticipation of that Friday event. And now as of this evening, the Palouse has been included in this as well. So Whitman and Latah counties both added to the winter storm watch. Again, goes into effect for this Friday. In terms of our broad heavy snow potential, or about the probabilities of 4 inches of snow or more, at least a moderate chance for most of our northern areas, as mentioned. Spokane, Coeur d'Alene included, also parts of the Palouse, especially the eastern Palouse as well, and of course the Silver Valley, pretty much a shoo-in for some very heavy snow out of this incoming system. And our models have been incredibly consistent in detailing just how this is going to evolve for our area, with widespread snowfall, including the valleys across most of the inland Northwest. Some of our normal warmer locations will probably still see more rain than snow. So still a very complex and a dynamic forecast ahead of us. And coming up, I'm going to go city by city, show you how much snow is in the projections here and just how cold things will follow up for this upcoming weekend.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. New tonight, as the nation grapples with racial inequality and how best to address it, the state's second largest school district is looking at its history, specifically its schools named after people with a controversial past.
So Spokane Public Schools is now discussing the idea of renaming a couple of their schools. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones brings us the latest from tonight's district board meeting.
At first glance, Sheridan Elementary just seems like a regular school. There's no glaring problems that stand out until you take a closer look at who it was named after.
Race relations in America have been underneath a magnifying glass this entire year. History has been dug up, and it often includes controversy built on acts of racism.
So that all members of the community could weigh in.
Spokane Public Schools felt it was time to look at these issues on a local scale. That starts with the naming of their schools and who they represent. Board members from the district met for nearly 2 hours discussing how they'll create an inclusive environment for all students that attend their schools. One of the conversations that comes up regarding a new name change is the idea that history will somehow be erased or traditions altered because of a new mascot. Changing a name will only come after full support from the community. SPS is forming a committee to help with that process.
Naming and dedication of schools and facilities.
It'll include feedback from alum and parents of students that attend the school. The public can submit requests to the superintendent about any issues they have with the school name. Board members will then discuss proper protocol about how to get it changed.
And I also hope that, some of our students can get together in a year to really discuss these things in person.
There's no specific timetable for changing names like Sheridan, who was named after a general that oppressed Native Americans. But the idea is to make sure all schools shine Spokane in a positive light. For example, mascots will represent pride and integrity for all members of the community. Before steps begin to rebrand, the cost of changing school property like gym floors will be factored in. From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Well, just today, West Coast Entertainment announced that the upcoming STCU Best of Broadway season has been postponed until October of 2021. a full year from now. Now, to be clear, they are not canceling the season, just delaying it. The shows include Cats, Anastasia, and most notably, Hamilton.
And according to Stephanie Curran, the CEO of the Public Facilities District, Hamilton alone was expected to have an economic impact of $17.5 million for downtown Spokane. So more than 8,600 tickets have already been sold. So to put that into perspective, the entire Best of Broadway season typically sells 7,400 tickets. Best of Broadway shows are also the #1 driver of hotel stays in Spokane. And Curran says there's going to be a lot headed our way, but in order to get there, we really have to stay vigilant as a community and healthy.
Aside from Hamilton, we had a great series. We have Cats, we have Come From Away, Anastasia, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and then Mean Girls and Jersey Boys that were scheduled for earlier this year. So it's not just Hamilton. There's a huge great series. People have been waiting for this for a long time. It is going to come back. Don't despair. But just keep in mind that the more we do to get through this virus time, the quicker we'll all be back.
Again, the Best of Broadway shows have not been canceled, just rescheduled. Everyone who already has a ticket for the show can use them for the rescheduled dates. To buy tickets or just check the new schedule, head to BroadwaySpokane.com.
And as soon as we get somebody discharged, there's somebody filling that bed.
A startling statement from Kootenai Health tonight. North Idaho's largest hospital almost at capacity and may need to transfer patients elsewhere as coronavirus cases continue to surge. To be clear, we're talking about the beds in the hospital. The overall hospital consensus for patient care shows the hospital now 99% full.
So now the hospital is saying that they may have to even transfer some patients to hospitals in Seattle or Portland. Kootenai Health says that this is an unprecedented situation.
It's becoming real really fast, and we really just need to plead with public to be as careful as possible. Stay home if you're sick.
Kootenai Health currently has 31 coronavirus patients. 11 of those patients require critical care.
And yesterday, the health district had its biggest spike yet of coronavirus cases, 141 new positive cases in just 24 hours. So that's the highest daily number that they've seen since the start of this pandemic. And if you look at those numbers, it's really been going up over the last few weeks. It was 119 cases just 1 week ago and 44 2 weeks ago.
But not everyone who gets COVID, of course, needs to be hospitalized, so it's important to understand that metric as well. So those numbers have also been climbing steadily, just not as dramatically. So as of yesterday, there were 33 people hospitalized in Idaho Panhandle, 29 a week ago, and 24 2 weeks ago.
Right. In the meantime, Spokane County also seeing a spike in coronavirus cases as well, with 102 new cases today and 2 new deaths. We did reach out to Providence Healthcare, and they say their hospital capacity is not full.
As for multi-care, a spokesperson says that at this time, Deaconess and Valley hospitals have capacity to treat patients. In a statement today, a spokesperson for Providence Healthcare said, quote, "At this time, local Providence hospitals have capacity to treat patients for regular and emergency needs. Although patient census is high, we remain open and available for care."
We also have a so-called situation report from Spokane Regional Health. It reads, quote, "Hospital supplies and staffing levels are adequate, but not without challenges," end quote. The availability of beds in intensive care units and medical surge floors are stressed. However, the total occupancy remains well below the Washington State Healthcare System readiness targets. All right, so ahead here on KREM 2 News at 11, the FBI released some shocking information about election interference.
We have confirmed that some voter registration information has been obtained by Iran and separately by Russia.
So what measures the U.S. government is planning to take?
Plus, as Election Day draws closer, the KREM 2 Verify team hard at work answering your election-related questions, including what prevents people from voting in 2 states. That answer coming up later in the broadcast.